Today we will be completing ratio. We have some few questions in ratio. Also, we will be starting with the financial statement. And yesterday we completed up to question number 208. Now proceeding further to question number 209. Question number 209. From the following information, calculate opening trade receivable and closing trade receivable. Opening trade receivable they are asking. Also they are asking us to find out closing trade receivable. Yesterday we did this type of question, and they have given debtors turnover ratio, trade receivable turnover ratio is given, nothing but debtors turnover ratio it is given as 4 times, and closing trade receivable were 20,000 more than beginning. Through closing trade receivable is 20,000 more than beginning. Cost of revenue from operation given. Cost of goods sold is given. Cost of goods sold is 6,40,000. Revenue from operation it is given as one third of credit revenue from operation. Cash revenue from operation is one third of credit revenue from operation. Cash revenue from operation is one third of credit revenue from operation. The question oda important line, cash revenue from operation is one third of credit revenue from operation. Okay. Now go through this question. We'll start solving this. So what is the formula we have here? Debtors turnover ratio. What is the formula for debtors turnover ratio? Debtors turnover ratio. Debtors turnover ratio. Debtors turnover ratio. Formula. It is credit sale divided by average trade receivable. Credit sale divided by average trade receivable. Question la direct credit sale is not given. One more thing is given. Cost of revenue from operation is given. Cost of revenue from operation. Nothing but cost of goods sold. With this cost of revenue from operation, gross profit should be added. You will be getting sales. Sales is nothing but revenue from operation. Sales is nothing but what na? Revenue from operation. Nothing but cost of goods sold plus gross profit will give you what na? Revenue from operation. So this is the information given in the question. Substitute this numbers, you will be getting the answer. 2 minutes time. First you try, then we will discuss the answer. So what is average trade receivable? Opening trade receivable plus closing trade receivable divided by 2. Also it is given that closing trade receivable is 20,000 more than that of beginning. Meaning closing trade receivable is 20,000 more than opening trade receivable. So numbers are substitute panna. Question la what is given? Debtors turnover ratio is given. Debtors turnover ratio is given as 4 times. So 4 times is equal to credit sale divided by average trade receivable. Credit sale divided by what? Average trade receivable. So first we need to find out credit sale. How to find out credit sale? Of goods sold is given in the question. When cost of goods sold is given, how to solve this? Very simple. Cost of goods sold, it is given as 6,40,000. Cost of goods sold is given as 6,40,000. And with that cost of goods sold, gross profit should be added. Cost of goods sold plus gross profit. Okay, cost of goods sold plus gross profit will give you sales. Cost of goods sold plus gross profit will give you sales. Question, the gross profit ratio is given. What is the gross profit ratio given? It is 20 percentage. Gross profit ratio given in the question is 20 percentage. Simply when gross profit ratio is given, it means it is on sale. It is 20 percentage on sale. But we don't know what is sales. We know only cost of goods sold. A conversion is required. 20 percentage on sale meaning 20 divided by 100. 20 divided by 100 is nothing but 1 by 5 on sale. 1 by 5 on sale is equal to 1 by 4 on cost. 1 by 5 on sale is equal to 1 by 4 on cost. Sales lende cost ku varum. So it should be subtracted. So what is 1 by 4? What is 1 by 4 of 6,40,000? In 6,40,000, if you apply 1 by 4, you will be getting 1,60,000. So 6,40,000 plus 1,60,000 will give you sales. Revenue from operation as 8 lakh. Will give you revenue from operation. Revenue from operation is given. From cost of revenue from operation, first we have found out sales. Revenue from operation we have found. Now, in this sales, credit sale. One is cash sale, another one is credit sale. What is the amount of cash sale? What is the amount of cash sale? Cash sale revenue from operation is represent 1/3 of credit revenue from not given. Make it as X. What is cash sale? It is 1 by 3 of X. 1 by 3X will give you cash sale. If cash sale is 1 by 3, credit sale is X. Okay, this will give you total sale. From this we can frame a equation 1 by 3X plus X. Cash sale plus credit sale will give you total sale of 8 lakh. So take LCM. LCM it is 3. It is X plus 3X will give you 8 lakh. X plus 3X will give you 8 lakh. This will give you 4X. 4X is equal to this 3 you multiply with 8 lakh. 4X is equal to will give you 24 lakh. 4X is equal to 24 lakh. X is equal to, from this we can find out what is X. X is equal to 24 lakh divided by 4. 24 lakh divided by 4 will give you 6 lakh. Even we can cross check our answer. We found X oda value. X oda value we found as 6 lakh. Correct? If X is 6 lakh, 1 by 3 of X is equal to 2 lakh. 2 lakh plus 6 lakh will give you 8 lakh. So our answer is correct. So before proceeding to the next thing, first we need to have a confirmation whether the answer we arrived is correct. So X is nothing but credit sale. X is nothing but what sale? Credit sale. So now we found credit sale. Now also we found cash sale. Cash sale plus credit sale will give you total sale. Total sale is 8 lakh. But what is required? We require credit sale. What is required is credit sale is required. So credit sale, what is the number for credit sale? It is 6 lakh. Okay, so substitute the number. 4 times is equal to 4 times is equal to, which is given, debtors turnover ratio is equal to credit sale 6 lakh divided by average trade receivable will give you average trade receivable. From this we can find out what is average trade receivable. Average trade receivable is equal to average trade receivable is equal to average trade receivable is equal to 6 lakh divided by 4. 6 lakh divided by 4. This will give you 1 lakh and 50,000. Average trade receivable is 1 lakh and 50,000. When average trade receivable is 1 lakh and 50,000, from this we can find out what is opening trade receivable and closing trade receivable. What is the information given for opening and closing trade receivable? Closing trade receivable is given as 20,000 more than equal to average trade receivable is equal to opening trade receivable plus closing trade receivable plus closing trade receivable divided by 2. We don't know what is opening trade receivable and we know what is closing trade receivable. Closing trade receivable is 20,000 more than opening. Assume opening trade receivable as y. Assume opening trade receivable assume it as y. Closing trade receivable is equal to y plus 20,000. Solve the equation. We found already average trade receivable 1,50,000. 1,50,000 is equal to y plus 20,000 divided by 2. Y plus 20,000 divided by 2. If you solve this equation, you will be getting an answer. How to solve this equation? 2 into 1,50,000 will give you 3 lakh. 3 lakhs is equal to 2y plus 20,000. So from this we can find out what is 2y. 2y is equal to, this 20 comes this side, it will become negative. 2y is equal to 1,40,000. If 2y is equal to 1,40,000, y is equal to 1,40,000. What is the value of y? Y is equal to 1,40,000. Y is nothing but it is opening trade receivable. If opening trade receivable is 1,40,000, closing trade receivable is 20,000 more than that. 1,40,000 plus 20 will give you 1,60,000. So from this we have answered the requirement of the question. So opening trade receivable is for 1,40,000 and closing trade receivable both we have found. That's all. That is about answer for this question. 1 lakh for answer for this question is 1,40,000 and 1,60,000. That's it. Next question number 210. Question number 210. From the following information, calculate working capital turnover ratio. From the following information, calculate working capital turnover ratio. Turnover means sales. What is the formula for working capital turnover ratio? Sales divided by working capital. Sales divided by working capital will give you working capital turnover ratio. Working capital is equal to current asset minus current liability will give you working capital. Sales is nothing but revenue from operation. Now, for that some information is given. Gross profit ratio is given. Shareholders fund is given, non-current liability is given, and current asset is given. So yesterday we learned something. What is the format of balance sheet? Yesterday we learned in balance sheet what and all will be there. First, shareholders fund will be there in balance sheet. First, shareholders fund will be there. What is shareholder fund? 25 lakh. Non-current liability, that is given 8 lakh. Non-current asset, it is 23 lakh. What and all missing? Current asset is missing, current liability is missing. If you write current liability here, it will become minus current liability. Current asset minus current liability. Current asset minus current liability will give you working capital. Appo what is your liability side total? What is your liability side total? 23 lakh plus 8 lakh will give you 23 lakh plus 8 lakh will give you 33 lakh. Okay, what is your asset side total? 33 lakh. Appa, what is the balancing figure? Working capital is arrived as a balancing figure. What is the amount of working capital? Appa, working capital is equal to 33 lakh minus 23 lakh will give you 10 lakh. So, working capital we have found. Working capital we have found. Second thing we have found. Now we need to find out sales. For sales, two things are given. What are the two things are given? Gross profit ratio and gross profit is given. What is the formula for gross profit ratio? Gross profit ratio is equal to gross profit divided by sales into 100. Gross profit divided by sales into 100. Gross profit, which is 5 lakh, gross profit, which is 5 lakh, divided by sales, divided by sales. From this we can arrive what is sales. Sales is equal to, sales is equal to 5 lakh divided by 25 percentage. 5 lakh divided by 25 percentage will give you எவ்வளோ answer 1 by 4 5 lakh 20 lakh. Sales is equal to how much amount na 20 lakh. Sales is how much amount? 20 lakh. You know sales, you know working capital. This you need to substitute with the formula. What is the formula we have? It is sales divided by working capital. Sales we have found. What is the sales? 20 lakh. What is working capital? 10 lakh. Answer is 2 times. That is the answer. Yesterday itself I told you. All turnover ratio will be expressed in terms of times. 2 times is the answer for this question. So very easy formula. What is the formula for working capital turnover ratio? It is sales divided by working capital. Sales is nothing but revenue from operation. Working capital is nothing but current asset minus current liability will give you working capital. Current asset minus current liability will give you working capital. So from this we have just found the numbers. Now proceeding further, next one. From the following information, calculate opening and closing inventory. Gross profit ratio is given as 25%. Revenue from operation is given as 8 lakh. Inventory turnover ratio is given as 4 times. Opening inventory was 2 times of closing inventory. That's all. So this you are going to try. I'm going to just tell the formulas. What is the formula for inventory turnover ratio? Inventory turnover ratio. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Cost of goods sold divided by average stock. And what is average stock? Average stock is equal to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. By using this formula, I want you to try the answer for this question. You try and tell me the answer, then I will discuss the answer. Definitely no. Sales and cost of goods sold is not same. Sales means revenue from operation. Sales minus cost of goods sold will give you gross profit. Both are not same. Sales plus sales minus gross profit will give you cost of goods sold. Question sales is given. From sales reduce gross profit, you will be getting cost of goods sold. This gross profit itself can be expressed in two ways. Yesterday we discussed. Either gross profit can be given in terms of sales, or gross profit can be given in terms of cost of goods sold. If nothing is given, always gross profit should be taken as it is given as a percentage on sales. From sales reduce gross profit, you will be getting cost of goods sold. Substitute cost of goods sold in inventory turnover rate. Closing stock. If opening stock is 10 rupees, closing stock is 2 times 20. Up 2 times 2x. Y in assume panna 2y. Okay. So we will discuss the answer. So first one, cost of sales. Sales is how much? 8 lakh. Gross profit is given as 25 percentage. 8 lakh into 25 percentage 2 lakh. Up cost of goods sold is 6 lakh. So 6 lakh divided by average stock will give you answer as 4 times. Up what is your average stock? Average stock is equal to 1 lakh and 50,000. If average stock is 1,50,000, frame a equation y closing stock is 2y divided by 2 will give you 1,50,000. 3y is equal to 3 lakh. y is equal to 3 lakh divided by 3 will give you 1 lakh. Y is nothing but opening stock 2 lakh. That's all. That is the answer for this question. So with this question, we are completing the questions on ratio. For ratio topic alone, these questions are not sufficient. Whatever thing we discuss, that is not sufficient for ratio topic alone, because here we have many formulas. Anything they can ask, don't only rely on this, but for other things you can rely on this, because there is no consistency in ratio. This type of question அப்படின்னு சொல்லி consistency இல்லை, அதனால don't rely on this. Next, financial statement. Financial statement nothing but schedule 3 oda format. What is the major heading and subheading அப்படின்றது you should know. First question, dash is not a financial statement. What is dash is not a tool of analysis of financial statement. Dash is not a tool. Dash is not a tool அப்படின்னு கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Ratio is a tool of financial analysis of financial statement. Comparative is a tool of analysis of financial statement. Cash flow is a tool of analysis of financial statement. But what is the answer for this question? Income statement. Because here they asked what is the not a tool of analysis of financial statement. Next, classify the following items under major head and subheads. For this you should know the major head and subheads. Okay, you should know the format of balance sheet. Balance sheet oda format you should know. Okay, so first we will learn the format of balance sheet. First, have some notes. First heading la write balance sheet of the company. Balance sheet. Balance sheet as on asset. Balance sheet asset. First, particulars. Note number. Current year. Amount in rupees. Previous year. Amount in rupees. First, major heading is equity and liability. That first one, shareholders fund. That first one, shareholders fund. Below shareholders fund, first one is share capital. Already when we learn company accounts, we learned this. First one, shareholders fund. Adala it is share capital. Second, B, reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus. C, money received against share warrant. Money received against share warrant. Second point number 2. Point number 2 is share application money. Share application money pending allotment. Share application money pending allotment. Third, non-current liability. Non-current liability. This A, B, C, D. Total of 4 things we have. First one will start with L. Last one also will start with L. First one, long-term borrowings. First one, long-term borrowings. Last one also will start with L. Long-term provision. In between we have 2 things. DO. D for deferred tax. Deferred tax liability. O for other. To the next one. First இதை மெமரைஸ் பண்ணோம். மெமரைஸ் பண்றதுல தான் இதுல இந்த டாபிக்கோட சக்சஸ். ஓகே, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் மேஜர் ஹெட்டிங். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபுல்லா லைபிலிட்டி சைடு, அதோட ஹெட்டிங் ஈக்விட்டி அண்ட் லைபிலிட்டி. அதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இட் இஸ் ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் ஃபண்ட். ஓகேவா? ஷேர் கேபிட்டல், ரிசர்வ்ஸ் அண்ட் சர்ப்ளஸ், மணி ரிசீவ்ட் அகேன்ஸ்ட் ஷேர் வாரண்ட். ரிப்பீட், ஷேர் கேபிட்டல், reserves and surplus, money received against share warrant. Repeat again, share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrant. Next, share application money pending allotment. When we learn in company accounts, I told you that 90% of the issue to be subscribed. If 90% is not subscribed, whatever money we collected, that money should be refunded. Till the moment you transfer the share application to share capital, we will have this amount in share application money pending allotment. Third important thing, non-current liability. So what is non-current liability? First one L, last one L. First one L, long-term borrowing. Last one L, it is long-term provision. DO, D for deferred tax liability. O for other long-term liability. That's all. So repeat, long-term borrowing, long-term provision, last one. DO, D for deferred tax liability. O for other long-term liability. That's all. Three things completed. What are the three things? First liability side oda name we have three things: share capital, reserves and surplus, share application, money received against share warrant. Second major thing, it is share application money pending allotment. Third, it is non current liability. L, first one L, second one L. First one long term borrowings, second one, last one long term provision. D, deferred tax liability. O, other long term borrowings. That's all. Okay. Next, can I proceed to the next one? Next one, current liability. Next one, next major thing, point number 4, it is current liability. In current liability, the major liability, first liability, it is அங்கே எல்னு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சா, இங்கே இங்கேயும் அதே மாதிரி ஏபிசிடி, இதில் எஸ்எஸ்ன்னு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும். எஸ் ஃபார் ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் பாரோயிங், அங்கே லாங் டேர்ம் பாரோயிங்கா, இங்கே ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் பாரோயிங். அங்கே ஃபோர்த் ஒன் லாங் டேர்ம் ப்ரொவிஷனா, இங்கே ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் ப்ரொவிஷன். அங்கே லாங் டேர்ம் ப்ரொவிஷனா, இங்கே ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் ப்ரொவிஷன். கரண்ட் லைபிலிட்டியில் மேஜராக இருக்கிற ஒரே ஒரு திங் ட்ரேடு பேயபிள்ஸ். Creditors, trade payables is nothing but what na? Creditors. All other things should be routed through other current liability. Major thing is the other current liability. Okay. Sorry. Next, with this, which side is completed na? Liability side is completed. So we will have the total of all liability. So liability la four things, major things. First, shareholders fund, share application money pending allotment, non-current liability, current liability. In share capital, we have three things. So shareholders fund, we have three things: share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrant. Then second one, share application money pending allotment. Third one, non-current liability. இதுல L, DOL, L long term borrowings. Last one, long term provision. DO, D for deferred tax, O for other long term borrowings. Current liability la four thing. First one S, last one S. First one S, short term borrowing. Last one, short term provision. Second one, trade payables. Third one, other current liability. That's all. Now proceeding to the asset side. Asset side la first major item, it is second assets. வெறும் assets தான். Assets la we have just two classification தான். One is non-current asset, one is non-current asset, one is non-current asset, another one is current asset. In non-current asset, total we have 5 points. Adula first point is very important. What is the first point? It is property, plant and equipment. Property, plant and equipment and intangible asset. The heading ரொம்ப important. Examல frequent it is asked. Property, plant and equipment and intangible asset. Property, plant and equipment. Property, plant and equipment. First classification, property, plant and equipment. Second one, second Roman letter. First Roman letter, second Roman letter. It is intangible asset. Intangible asset. Very important. Definite exam la question will be there on intangible asset. Third one, capital. Fourth one, it is intangible asset. intangible asset, under development, intangible asset under development. Still it doesn't qualify as intangible asset, so that is called as intangible asset under development. Intangible asset under development. Okay, va? So in that next one, what in current investment? It is non-current investment. Then see deferred tax asset, deferred tax asset net. In case deferred tax asset is more, you should write this. Next, D, long-term loans and advances. Long-term loans and advances. Last one, E, other non-current assets. Other non-current assets. Asset, long-term loans and advances, other non-current assets. Below this one more thing, this point, current asset, very easy. First one, current investment. Second one, first Roman letter, current investment. Second, ABC ne vechupom. First A, second B. Second one, again very important, inventory. Third one, trade receivable. Fourth one, AS 3 la படிச்சோம், cash flow படிக்கும்போது படிச்சோம். cash and cash equivalent. Short term loans and advances. Last one, F, other along with this. I want you to learn, I want you to write few more things. Go to the share capital, issued share capital, subscribed share capital, called up capital. இதெல்லாம் மென்ஷன் பண்றது எங்க இருக்கும்னா in share capital. Under the heading share capital, we will have the following things. Under reserves and surplus, what and all we will have? We will have majorly securities premium. Majorly we will have what na? Securities premium. Also we will have capital reserve. Also we will have general reserve. These and all will come under what category? Reserves and surplus. Money received against share warrant, normally it is not given. Okay, share application money, pending allotment, separate thing. Non-current liability, okay. Long-term borrowing. What and all will come under long-term borrowing? Debentures will come under long-term borrowing. Mortgage loan will come under long-term borrowing. Mortgage loan na, we pledge something and we receive some loan, that is called as mortgage loan. These things will come under long-term borrowings. Okay, next, deferred tax, normal thing. Other current liability, other long-term liability, long-term provision, short-term borrowing, and short trade payables. Trade payables is nothing but creditor. Trade payables is nothing but creditors. Also what will come now, bills payable will come under trade payables. The term payables does not include only creditors, it includes bills payable also. What is the very most important thing in the liability side? This is other current liability. This is very very important, because in other current liability we have outstanding salary. Salary outstanding, calls in advance, company received advance, income received in advance, income received in advance, இதெல்லாம் இதுல தான் வரும். Income received in advance. Okay. Unpaid dividend. Unpaid dividend இன்னும் pay பண்ணல, அதுக்கு பேர் தான் unpaid dividend. These and all will come under what category na? Other current liability. First I have given the format. After that I told some important things very frequent வரது. Share capital AIS ஞாபகம், authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, called up capital. Reserves and surplus, securities premium, capital reserve, general reserve. Long term borrowing, term of the loan is more than 1 year, we call it as long term borrowing. Generally debentures, mortgage loan and all will come under long term borrowing. Next, deferred tax liability. What is deferred tax? We have accounting standard for this. We have taxable income and accounting income. We should pay tax as per taxable income, but accounting says that we should pay tax as per accounting income. Whatever difference we have, that is treated as deferred tax liability. Anyway, you will be learning this later. Other current liability, other long term liability, other long term provision. In liability side, the most important thing is this current liability, other current liability. What and all will come? Outstanding salary will come, calls in advance will come, and income received in advance, unpaid dividend. Unpaid dividend, very very important thing. Dividend which is not yet paid, that will come under current liability. Dividends once declared, it should be paid within 3 months. அதனால whatever thing liability which has to be paid within a period of 1 year, we call it as current liability. Up unpaid dividend will come under current liability. Income received in advance, current liability. Calls in advance, current liability. Outstanding salary, current liability. Other current liability. Okay, very important thing, other current liability. Similarly, in asset side, what is the most important asset? It is intangible asset. It is what na? Intangible asset. What and all will come under intangible asset? Copyright will come under intangible asset. Trademark will come under intangible asset. Trademark will come under intangible asset. Goodwill will come under intangible asset. Computer software will come under intangible asset. Computer software will come under intangible asset. Design will come under intangible asset. License fee will come under intangible asset. Okay, so computer is a tangible asset. Computer or software will come under intangible asset. Capital work in progress. Capital work in progress. We'll be having some more thing. Work in progress இன்னொன்னு படிப்போம். இப்ப படிக்கிறது capital work in progress. Construction is going on. That is called as capital work in progress. Intangible asset under development. இதுல PPE ல very important thing is this what na? Intangible asset. Next non-current investment, deferred tax asset, other long-term loans and advances. In other long-term current asset la, non-current asset la, one important thing we have, capital advance. It is capital advance. Capital work in progress னு ஒன்னு பார்த்தோமா, இதே மாதிரி செப்பரேட்டா capital advance will come under other non-current asset. Capital advance will come under other non-current asset. Capital advance will come under other non-current asset. Remember this. Next, வேற என்ன இருக்கு? Current asset, inventory. Inventory means stock. In the inventory is very important. Again, Current asset la inventory is important. As per AS2, following things will be reported. Raw material will be reported. Not only raw material, work in progress also reported. Work in progress. Semi-finished goods, that is called as work in progress. Finished goods, அதையும் report பண்ணணும். Finished goods also reported. Consumables reported. Consumables reported. Also spare part reported. Spares reported. Loose tools reported. இது எல்லாமே ஒரே கேட்டகரியில தான் ரிப்போர்ட் பண்றோம். என்ன கேட்டகரி? இன்வென்ட்ரி அப்படின்ற கேட்டகரியில ரிப்போர்ட் பண்றோம். ஓகேவா? And another last important thing, last item, other current asset. What and all will come under other current asset? Accrued income will come under other current asset. Prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance will come under other current asset. Prepaid rent will come under other current asset. Calls in arrears, calls in arrears இல்ல, calls in advance தான் வந்து எழுதியாச்சு. Calls in arrears வந்து இதுல subtract பண்ணி காமிப்போம். Called up capital கூட subtract பண்ணி காமிப்போம். Paid up capital is equal to called up capital minus calls in arrears. So that's all. So these are some important things. And the pink penல எழுதி இருக்கிற things எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் highlight பண்ணியிருக்கேன்ல, இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப frequent எக்ஸாம்ல கேட்கிற விஷயங்கள். மெயினா இன்வென்ட்ரி அதிகமா கேட்பாங்க. ட்ரேட் ரிசீவபிள் இஸ் நத்திங் பட் டெட்டார்ஸ். நாட் ஓன்லி டெட்டார்ஸ், இட் ஆல்சோ இன்க்ளூட்ஸ் பில்ஸ் ரிசீவபிள். வாட் இஸ் கேஷ் அண்ட் கேஷ் ஈக்குவலண்ட்? Cash will come under cash and cash equivalent. Bank will come under cash and cash equivalent. Other short term investments which can be converted into cash within a period of 3 months also will come under cash and cash equivalent. Okay, short term loans and advances will come as a separate head. Long term loans and advances will come as a separate head. Non current investment will come as a separate head. Okay, so these are the things we need to learn under the category, under the topic of what na financial statement. Now we'll solve some exam questions. First one, first classify the following items under major headings and subheadings. Classify the following items. Question number 213. Classify the following items under major headings and subheadings. If balance sheet of the company as per schedule 3 is given. Computer software. Computer software. Outstanding salary, work in progress. Computer software. லைசன்ஸ் ஃபீ, ஃப்ரான்ச்சைஸ், இதெல்லாம் வந்து எதில் வரும்னா இன்டான்ஜிபிள் அசெட்டில் வரும். சரி, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சாஃப்ட்வேர். கம்ப்யூட்டர் சாஃப்ட்வேர் வில் கம் அண்டர் வாட் கேட்டகரி? வாட் இஸ் த மேஜர் ஹெட்டிங்? Okay, two things you should write. Major heading also you should write, subheading also you should write. Okay, major heading for computer software, PPE. And what is the subheading for computer software? It is intangible asset. It is intangible asset. Outstanding salary, second one. சொன்ன ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா சொன்ன outstanding salary. Can you tell me what is where outstanding salary will come? Current liability, அதுல other current liability. Current liability la other current liability. Next, work in progress. Capital work in progress illa. Capital work in progress illa, normal work in progress. Work in progress will come under inventory. It will come under what? Inventory. Inventory will come under current asset. Inventory will come under current asset. In that, what is the subheading? It is inventory. In inventory, remember, raw material will come in inventory, WIP will come in inventory, finished goods will come in inventory, spare parts will come in inventory, consumables will come in inventory, and loose tools will come in inventory. Okay, next, proceeding further. Next one. Classify the following items under major heads and subheads of balance sheet. Accrued income, capital advances, accrued income, capital advances, capital work in progress, accrued income, capital advances, capital work in progress. Accrued income, specific I told you. Accrued income will come under what asset? Accrued income will come under other current asset. Accrued income will come under what category? Other current asset. Right, accrued income. Other current asset will come under what category? Current asset. So accrued income will come under current asset. In that current asset, it is other current asset. It is other current asset. Same way. Next one. Capital advance. Stress பண்ணி சொன்னேன். கேபிட்டல்ன்றது liability. ஆனா இங்க capital advances அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Capital advances will come under what category na? Other non-current asset. Capital advances will come under what category? Other non-current asset. அப்ப non-current assetல it will come under other non-current asset. Other non-current asset. Capital work in progress. Capital work in progress. ஒரு work in progress இல்ல. Capital work in progress. Stress பண்ணி சொன்னேன். It will come under asset, non-current asset. Non-current assetல PPE அப்படின்ற heading கீழ this capital work in progress will come. Under PPE following things are there. Under PPE alone, following things are there. Property, plant and equipment, intangible asset, capital work in progress, and intangible assets under development. And also non-current investment, deferred tax liability, long-term liability, other non-current asset. Idhula separate disclosure is there for capital work in progress. Capital work in progress. Next, classify the following things. Trademark. 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 Trademark will come under non-current asset. In that non-current asset, intangible asset. In that non-current asset, it will come under what category? Intangible asset. Raw material will come under current asset. In current asset, we have a heading called inventory. In inventory, this raw material will come. Mortgage loan. Specifica sonna, I told you. Mortgage loan, it is a liability. In liability, it will come under what liability? Non-current liability. In non-current liability, this will come under what heading? What is the subheading? It is long-term borrowing. Debentures is a long-term borrowing. In same way, along with the debentures, this also mortgage loan will be shown. Along with debentures, mortgage loan also is shown. Okay. Next, question number 216. Question number 216. Classify the following items on the same thing. So, capital calls in advance. Calls in advance. Calls in advance. First of all, advance received by the company. Asset or liability? Company received some advance. Company has to repay this advance. அப்போ it is a liability. So it will come under what liability? Calls in advance will come under current liability. ஒரு வருஷத்துக்குள்ள பே பண்ணிடணும். So current liability, and in that current liability calls in advance will come under other current liability. Next one, license and franchise. License fee and franchise. Okay, so it will come under non-current asset. Non-current asset. In non-current asset, intangible asset. Prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance will come under current asset. Tell me, in current asset, it will come under, in current asset, it will come under other current asset. It will come under other current asset. Next, classify the following under same thing, balance sheet la work in progress. Already discussed this. In some other question also we discussed work in progress. Work in progress, current asset, inventory. Current asset, that inventory. Securities premium, company accounts le படிச்சிருக்கோம். Okay, securities premium, it is a capital profit. It will be shown under shareholders fund. Under shareholders fund, it will be shown under, in shareholders fund we have three categories: share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrant. This will come under reserves and surplus. In reserves and surplus, what are the other things will come? Capital reserve will come, general reserve will come. Okay va? Next, creditors. Creditors, we have a separate disclosure. Creditor will come under current liability. In current liability, it will come under trade payable. It will come under what category? Trade payable. Next three நீங்களே சொல்லுங்க மூணுமே. Bills payable. Bills payable. Bills payable, receivable illa, bills payable. So bills payable will come under liability, current liability. In current liability, under trade payable. Trade payable. Payable means creditors. Next, loose tools. Loose tools. Current asset. Current asset under inventory, stock. Just a minute. Next, copyright. Copyright, non-current asset. Non-current asset under this intangible asset. Non-current asset, intangible asset. Next, again all the three are repeated. நீங்க தான் ட்ரை பண்ண போறீங்க. Question number 219, please try. Question number 219. Capital advance. Capital advance will come under non-current asset in that other non-current asset. Income received in advance. Income received in advance. It is current asset in that other non-current asset. Other non-current asset. Stores and spare part will come under current asset. In current asset, it will come under inventory. Inventory means stock. Next, question number 220. Question number 220. Question number 220. Under which of the major heads and subheads following items under balance sheet? Design, unpaid dividend, capital work in progress. Design, unpaid dividend, capital work in progress. Design, unpaid dividend, capital work in progress. So design will come under non-current asset. Under non-current asset, it will come under intangible asset. Unpaid dividend, specific I told you, it will come under current liability. In current liability, it will come under other current liability. Capital work in progress will come under non-current asset. Under PPE. Under PPE, following heads we have. PPE ne ஒரு head இருக்கு. Intangible னு ஒரு head இருக்கு. And also we have capital work in progress. Also we have intangible under development. Next, under which of the major heads following sub? Patent, capital reserve, prepaid rent. Patent, capital reserve, prepaid rent. Please try. Definitely one question will come from this 3-mark question. For sure, this one question will come from this particular segment. So patent is a non-current asset, will come under intangible asset. Capital reserve will come under shareholders fund. In shareholders fund, 3 things: share capital, reserves and surplus, and money received against share warrant. This will come under reserves and surplus. Prepaid rent asset, current asset. In current asset, it will come under other current asset. Will come under other current asset. Next. Try question number 222 and 223. I don't think இது 6 mark கிடையாது, 3 mark தான். மார்க்கு கேட்டிருக்கேன்னு நான் டைப் பண்ணிட்டேன். 3 மார்க்காக தான் இருக்கும், 6 இருக்காது. No, outstanding salary is a current liability. Liability அது outstanding salary. Current liability ல it will come under other current liability. Asset இல்ல அது liability. Outstanding salary னா pay பண்ணணும். Trademark will come under non-current asset. In non-current asset, okay. In non-current asset, it will come under trademark. It will come under intangible asset. Loose tools will come under current asset. Under current asset, it will come under inventory. Inventory அப்படின்ற segmentல this will come. Next, question number 223. Computer software. Non-current asset under intangible asset. Computer software will come under non-current asset under intangible asset. Unclaimed dividend. Current liability under other current liability. Under other current liability. Loose tools will come under current asset under inventory. Current asset under inventory. Question number 224. Question number 224. Stores and spares will come under current asset. Under current asset, it will come under inventory. Calls in advance. Calls in advance. It is a liability. Current liability. It will come under other current liability. Come under other current liability. Income received in advance. Income received in advance. Income received in advance will come under current liability. Other current liability. So with this, we are completing all the questions. Around 99 pages. இன்னும் ஒரு பேஜ் இருந்தால் 100 பேஜ் ஆயிருக்கும். நான் ஸ்டார்டிங் 2 கிளாஸஸோட இது வந்து வேற இதில் செப்பரேட்டாக எழுதியிருந்தேன். அதனால் okay, so totally we have solved around 224 questions. 4 questions I have given as homework. 220 questions we solved in span of 20 days. 20 days we solved around 220 questions. 1 mark, 2, 1 mark, 3 mark question and 6 mark question, 4 mark question. Literally 2 exam question papers along with the discussion we have done. Okay, 2024 exams and 2025 exam questions we have done. Okay, so if even this you can take this as a base and you can make your preparation. Someone is not having confidence, if any of your friends are not having confidence, you can tell them to see this video and that will be sufficient. ஆனால் இதை மட்டுமே பேஸாக வச்சு படிக்காதீங்க. Atleast you should have some knowledge ஒரு பாஸ்ட்ல இருந்திருக்கணும். அதை வச்சு நீங்கள் you can make this preparation. So that's all. So with this this accounting master class comes to an end. So this was the original plan. January end we should complete this particular thing. We completed this batch also. So all the very best for your examination. In case if you have any doubts in this particular thing, you can send a WhatsApp message to my number and you just send a WhatsApp message to this number. So I will be replying to your doubts. Okay, all the very best pa. All the best for your exam. Bye bye. Okay, thank you friends. Bye.